Watch this longer form full length tutorial to show you how I did this fade here. If you're someone who wants to know about fading, then watch it because this is for you. So I'm going to start off with a number 3 and I'm going to go against the grain, taking all of his hair down, just taking it all down, reducing it. You don't need to spend too much time on this, just make sure it's all taken down and it's even. Now, work out what type of fade you want to do. So wherever you put your skin line, that's where the fade will end. So I'm doing it a mid skin fade. Skinning all of the sides, make sure that I get all of that off. Don't spend too much time on this either. Create your open blade barrier. So that's the open blade. Now I'm going to go up. Now it's important, wherever you put this open blade, if you do it very high, the fade would look a lot lighter. If you do it lower, then the fade will look a lot darker, or more dark, should I say. I've done it kind of mid-range-ish. Close the lever a little bit, then go up to just under where the open blade barrier was created and flick out. This is the key to this fade. If you do this and take your time on this, the rest of the fade will be easy. So keep going through and flick out, making sure to use correct clipper strokes. I'll explain what a correct clipper stroke is in just a minute. Close the lever a little bit and go up slightly lower than where you were before. Go through and flick out. Keep creating your invisible lines, guys, making sure that every time you reduce the lever a little bit, you come down a little bit lower. So if you notice, every time I reduce the lever, I'm coming down a little bit lower and I'm getting closer to the skin line. So keep going through with correct clipper strokes, which I haven't forgotten. I'm going to explain to you guys, and flick out. Close the lever a little bit more. Now I'm just going through the skin line. Go through and flick out. If you rewind the video or go back on the video, you'll see that I started up a lot higher, and every time I reduced the lever, I came down a bit lower, and now I'm just at the bottom where the skin line is. Now I'm stepping back to look at it and I can see, look, it's still a bit heavy on the line, so I'm going over the line just to flick over it a little bit more. You don't need to get it perfect, but you want to get this part correct. Now with the wall vanish foil shaver, I'm going to skin the sides because this gets it so skinned and so close. It makes it so smooth. When if you run your finger over it, you'll be like, whoa, I can't feel anything. So this is good to get it really skinned. Go back over the line again, because once you make it skin, super skin, you'll start noticing, okay, the fade, that line looking a bit more prominent, so let's get rid of it. But when you spend time on it, you'll see how the rest of the fade is easy. So now the number 2. Come from under where the open blade barrier was created and go through and flick out. Go to your invisible line. Now apologies, I did not show you where my invisible line was, but I will show you where the invisible line is. Go up to it and flick out using correct clipper strokes. What is a correct clipper stroke? That is making sure that the bristles of your gauge go through the grains of their hair, like combing someone's hair. See, there's my invisible line, and now I'm going to go over it a few more times to show you what I was doing. But making sure that the bristles of your gauge go through the grains of their hair like a comb. My next invisible line, a little bit lower than before. With the open one, I'm going to it and flick it out using correct strokes. A correct stroke, if you were going to comb someone's hair, you'd make sure that the bristles went through the grains of their hair. It's the exact same thing when you are cutting someone's hair. I close the lever as you noticed. Go through to the same place and flick out, making sure, I keep saying this, to use correct strokes. If you use correct clipper strokes, it will make it easier. You will cut more hair than staying there for the next 10 minutes not doing anything. Making sure that, look, the bristles are going through their hair like I'm combing it. The technique you should use is get a comb and just comb through their hair and say, when I'm cutting, is this what is happening with the bristles? Is it going through it? And look how faded it is, just because I'm using correct clipper strokes. And look, it's all live. I'm not doing loads of edits. You can see how it's gradually just fading, and we haven't even used the number 1 yet. And this is why I say correct clipper strokes are important, and they will help your fade. Now I'm going to drop down to the open one. There's my invisible line, slightly lower than before. And then with the open one, I'm going to go up to the invisible line and flick out, continuing to use correct clipper strokes. Please guys, rewatch this video. Don't just watch it once, rewatch it. Close the lever, go to the same place and flick out. The correct clipper strokes is what's made it easy, and also spending time fading out the skin line makes the rest of the fade a lot easier. That's why I said spend time on that. If there's something you might notice as well, is I've left the front side shape up darker. I haven't really touched that, but When I get to the shape up, I'll show you why I haven't touched it and what I'm going to do there. I want to make that a lot darker so the shape up will stand out a lot more. It'll be a lot more prominent. I'm going to go over it for another like 5 to 10 seconds. You can hear when it's still cutting hair, because if you listen closely, it's scratching. Now to the open blade. My invisible line's lower. Now I'm going to go from under the skin line up to where I created the original open blade barrier and just flick out on that line using correct clipper strokes. You guys are going to get sick of me saying correct clipper strokes. I'm getting sick of myself saying it. Using the 1.5 to reduce the sideline. I don't want it to be super low, but I don't want it to be super high, because if you leave it too high, it'll be bulky, heavy, and you don't want that. But you want it to be still low but dark, but still prominent, and you can still see it. So I'm just reducing it to a 1.5. And now into the shape up. Start in one place at the bottom of the sideline and go up in a straight line. He hasn't got a long sideline, but go up in a straight line. And then for the front line, start in the middle, press down, pull away from the hairline, and go across in a straight line to meet the sideline. This is how I do my shape ups. I find that this technique works. The thing I'm focusing on right now is making sure that I've got good angles. I do an angle of about 87 degrees. Then you comb out the hair, which I didn't do right there. Then I go over what I've already done. But it's important you comb out the hair. The reason why I'm not showing you me combing out the hair is because I'm filming with one hand and I'm cutting and shaping up with the other hand. See, in the transition over, I comb the hair and I'm going over it again, just scraping over what I've already done, making this line a lot cleaner. The more you comb it out and scrape the edges, the cleaner that line will be. And if you've already got good angles, then all you got to focus on is making the line cleaner. Refine the cut. Make sure to refine the cut. What is refining? Refining is just going over things you may have missed in the process of the haircut. So now I'm just looking at it saying, okay, this area looks a bit more blotchy. This area looks a bit more heavy. This area looks like I didn't fade it out properly. This is all the stuff you do in the refining stages. Don't do this at the beginning of the haircut. Do this right at the end, because then it's a lot easier. And the reason why it's easier is because if you spend too much time on any area of a haircut, barbers will know this, you get over hot, flustered, and when you have to move on to the next area, you're like, I spent so long on this side, now I got to do this side. It's kind of like demoralizing. So refine at the end. You've been in a cut with Slidercuts. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification, because I put out videos all the time for you.